Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and, like, comment, share. If you think someone can benefit from this, that's awesome. Feel free to share it. I like reading the comments and responding. Hey, because if you saw my short, you saw that the comments help me because I sometimes make mistakes. Not only that, but like we can encourage each other through the comments. So I highly suggest commenting. I can encourage you, you can encourage me. But yeah, because homeschool moms work hard and they need the encouragement for sure. So today, as you can tell by the title, I will be reviewing Elementary Apologetics by Masterbooks. I will say right off the bat, I highly recommend this. I think apologetics for a faith-based home, for a Christian home, apologetics should be one of those things that you're like, we have to do that. I know it's an elective technically and that it's completely optional, but I think knowing some real questions that people will ask about the faith or have about the faith is really important. And this puts it at an elementary level. The age recommendation for it is 4th through 6th grade. I think that's probably perfectly appropriate. I would say too though that if you have younger kids, you can totally have them like listen in on the lesson because I think the questions are appropriate for younger kids too. And and they'll hopefully get some of that information. But as far as like the full curriculum with the questions, I would recommend 4th through 6th is perfectly appropriate for the worksheets, but having younger kids listen in and maybe redoing it with them when they're older and can do the worksheets, that would be excellent. So again, the thing I really like about Masterbooks is they always have a schedule with checklist and you can write grades. So that is super awesome. I had my 3rd grader do this, and then all the way to, we did the worksheets together so that it wouldn't be too complicated. And then I had my I think 8th grader do it too, just so that he was learning. I know he's too old for the elementary apologetics, but he's still learning something. Like if a kid happened to ask a question that doesn't know anything about Christianity, he might be equipped with an answer, like if it's a simple question. So anyway, so yeah, I like that. The worksheets, a lot of it, the first thing they have you do every day is you say the question to the kids, which I'll show you where that is in a minute. You say the question to the kids and then give them a minute to come up with an answer, what they think the answer is to that question. Like for example, I'm trying to think of an example, but yeah, there's a lot of good questions asked they're submitted by kids, the questions in this curriculum. So it's relatable. But yeah, so the first thing every day is before reading the answer in your book, how would you answer this question? So you ask the kids a question and give them time to answer that. Most of the time we kind of skip that. And then they also, unless it's a question my kids really felt like they knew the answer for, then they'd write it. But then the last thing is they have you write the verse from the day, and then they have you look up some extra verses that support the question and answer for the day. So I really like that. I really like that it's questions that kids ask. So it's helpful because they're questions I've heard kids ask. The other thing I really like about this curriculum too is each book, there's 8 of them, is themed on a certain topic. Like the first book is Creation and the Fall. Book 2 is Dinosaurs and the Flood of Noah. Book 3 is Sin, Salvation, and the Christian Life. Book 4, Evolution and Millions of Years. Book 5 is God and the Bible. Book 6 is Space and Astronomy Questions. 7 is Babel and the Ice Age, and the last book is about Satan and angels. So I will take out the first book just to show you. These are all put out by Answers in Genesis, if you didn't already see that, which is Ken Ham, and I think it's Bodie Hodge, I think, that help. Yeah. Is it Bodhi Hodge or am I messing up the... Yeah, Bodhi Hodge. I was right. I've been looking at it all year, so I knew. But yeah, Answers in Genesis, always solid for Christian things. But yeah, so they're hardcover. They're small. They're definitely perfect for, like I said, good for young kids because there's always a picture. And as you can see, it's pretty short. So the question on day 1 is, when did time begin? And then it tells you the name, like first name of the kid, and then how old they were when they submitted the question. And then it gives you an answer. Usually it always starts with a Bible verse, and then it gives an explanation, and then you have a couple verse reference points on the bottom that you can read, which I always read to the kids because I feel like the more Bible you have to support your answer, the better. So yeah, the age recommendation on the books is 6 to 12. So I think that's appropriate because I think my 6-year-old could listen to these because they're short. So if you have kiddos with a short attention span, you can, that's why I said you can have the younger kids listen in on the lesson and just have them skip the worksheets until they're like at an age where you think it's age appropriate. Like I said, 4th through 6th grade's probably appropriate. And I also had like a kid that was older join in, and I had a kid that was younger than that join in. But you know your kids better than anyone else, and if they're capable of doing it, then go for it because super, super important. My oldest, I will say, he graduated last year. My first graduate, obviously, since he is my oldest, but he did the high school apologetics, and I highly recommend that one because I didn't read it because he kind of was capable of doing his work on himself, work by himself, and I would just check in with him. I would grade his papers each week and just see how he was doing. But the high school apologetics from Masterbooks, I don't know if it's called high school apologetics. I think it's just apologetics. But there's a high school version of apologetics, and it's books mostly by Ken Ham, I think, with some other ones I think mixed in. It's been a couple years since he did it because he didn't do it his senior year. But I highly recommend that one too because now my son has like a crazy passion for apologetics. He even did apologetic spotlights at youth group where it's like 5 minutes to do like a certain topic. And so he did that, like, I think for his 11th grade year, he did that a few times, or maybe it might have been his senior year too. But yeah, so he did apologetic spotlights and loved it. He, just really loves that category of the faith. And it's very, very important because it's questions that we'll run across with unbelievers, or even believers sometimes have these questions. So highly recommend either, like, obviously the elementary apologetics, but the high school apologetics, I'm pretty sure it's not called high school apologetics, like I said. But that one I highly recommend as well because I think it's core. It's very important to have answers for what you believe in. So yeah, definitely go check those things out if you have an elementary kiddo or if you have a high school age kiddo. Like I said, very important subject. And I know it's an elective and it's another thing that you have to tack on, but it is well worth it. And equipping our kids to have answers is so, so, so important. So I encourage you to go look that up. And so these are the books. Like I said, I think there's like 40 something pages per book. So, and obviously it works out to be about 2 books a quarter. So anyway, so that is my review and my recommendation. So I hope you learned something from this and that it maybe gave you the desire to check those things out. So I will post a link in the description directly to the elementary apologetics, and I'll also link the high school level one as well, so that if you are inspired to go check those out, you can check them out easily with a direct link. So, all right, that will do it for me today. I will see you all next time. Bye.